Hi guys, so today we're going to make that little bowl that you just saw at the beginning of the video here, and it is very small, and I'll let you know the dimensions when we're done. You can make it as large or as small as you like, but it can only go so big because it is clay and it gets a little bit wonky. So to get started, I'm going to be basing it on some black Sculpey clay. I don't know exactly how much of this brick I'll need, but to begin, I'm going to condition half a brick, and then I'm going to run it through my pasta roller on the thickest setting, okay? So we're going to have a nice, not real thick, I think it's maybe an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch, I'll have to see about that, thick, but the thickest setting on your pasta machine. I'll roll that out. I'm going to be using some of the canes that I've recently made, and I want to use my little bright kind of pinks and oranges. They're the ones that we just made recently, so I have lots of different things in here. This is how I keep them. These are the Millefiori ones I made the other day. There's the other basic canes. I even have some like leftover extra bits from the Millefiori cane that make cute little petals, but we're not going to be using those today. But this is how I keep it. Everything extra I always keep, so I'll be using those to decorate with. You're going to need a roller if you don't have a pasta roller, and also to form the bowl around, I'm using this. Of course, your clay slicing tool. I always like to keep a little bit of alcohol and a rag on hand just to clean up in between, but we're not really going to be messing with that too much. You're going to need something to cut the shape of a circle with. I'm going to use this little can. It was from Michael's, little decorative can, and it's about, let me see, it's 3 inches in diameter. So if you have a 3-inch anything, or just cut around a circle of 3 inches, that'd be great. But that's how big mine is. Yours doesn't have to be this size. And then you're gonna need some Fiberfill. This is just that stuff they call Polyfill. You can buy it at Joann's, Michael's, Walmart, everywhere, to kind of help keep your bowl open. We just need very little. Like, this is still too much, so we're gonna need a little bit of that. And of course, you're gonna need to be able to bake your clay. But let me get started by conditioning this and running it through my machine. I have that rolled out, and like I said, just about a 1/16 of an inch, I would say. But you can make it as thick as you like. Just know that if it's thicker, it's gonna be a little bit harder to work with. That's just how it is. So I'm gonna take some of these extra little canes that I already have that I cut off from ends of things. I have a few of those, some fresh ones like this one here. What I'm going to do is just cut slices, and I don't want them too thick because I'm going to put them on my the black clay, but I don't really want to distort the cane. So I mean, these are going to be like a 1/16 of an inch, okay? So just very carefully, and if they're very soft, you can put them in the fridge so you can cut them a little bit easier, but since they've been sitting in that little package there, they get a little firmed up. Usually once you're done working with them, they're warmer. So I'm going to cut different little canes from different you know, pieces that I have here. I'll just look around and see what I have. I even have this one. It's like a little bullseye. Doesn't have much to it. So I'll just cut a whole bunch of different little slices of canes that are about a 1/16 of an inch. These little pieces kind of to the side. And have those ready, waiting for use. I'm not quite going to use them quite yet. And I just have lots of different coordinating little canes here. So what I'm going to do first, and this might seem weird, I'm going to cut this. Well, actually I don't have to cut it. What I'm going to do is just mark it so I know where the 3 inches that I'm going to cut are, okay? So I can kind of see that. And then before I even cut it or add my canes, I'm going to take this and fold it so that the little circle is pretty much folded in half, not together. You don't want to stick it together, but I want to be able to kind of see where I'm going to be folding this later to make my bowl, and so that way I kind of have an idea of where to put my little canes, okay? Because we're going to squeeze this kind of like a pinch bowl. You can also make a pinch bowl out of this stuff, but anyway, so I can kind of see that there's a line here, so where I pinch it there's going to be other areas. So what I'm going to do is just start laying down my little canes just wherever I feel like. Very randomly. You want it to be kind of organic, so I'm just going to throw some pieces out here and there. If they're not as round as they should be, I will round them out like this one and place them just wherever I think might be cute. Okay, so in each one, however you like, each little quadrant, just place whatever you want, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to keep placing them. I'm not really pushing them in all the way you can. You can definitely just kind of push them in, but for right now I'm just kind of laying them out and how I think might be cute. So okay, kind of randomly, I gave them kind of a push so that they would just kind of stick into the clay. And so what we're going to do real quick with our roller is just kind of roll it so that it's a little bit smoother, okay? I don't really want to warp them though. You can also do this with like a acrylic block like for stamping and just push down on it instead of rolling, because you don't want to warp your images, but at the same time you really want to get that embedded so it becomes one with the black clay. Okay, I think it looks really fun, and as you can see I put some kind of overlapping the edges so that when it gets cut that'll be there on the edge of the clay. So trying to keep it uniform, we're not really smashing it out too much. I think that's good. Let me make sure we're not completely stuck to our work surface here. I'm just going to pick this up. I don't want it really stuck down there. Okay, the back looks good. This is going to be the back of the bowl or the outside of the bowl. You can also decorate that too if you want. Anyhow, I'm going to take my little can, and this time I'm going to push all the way through and cut into it to make the circle shape, sorry. Just cut right through. There you go. This is a very small bowl, like I said. Now this you can use for something else. Scrap clay, take off the pieces that have, you know, the clay in it and keep using your black however you need. I am gonna make a little black base though, so we are gonna use part of this later. So I'm gonna put that to the side. And here's our little, what's gonna make our bowl. Isn't that cute? You can even make coasters and things like this, guys. Just cut them the shape that you want. Anyway, okay. So there's that. What I'm going to do is pinch the ends a little bit, kind of go around and give it kind of a wavy feel. Just a little bit nicer edge. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and pinch the edges. Okay. So now what we're going to do is just fold this in half and give it a pinch. When you did your little pinching the edges, you just want to make sure that that's softened out, okay? You don't want that to be super harsh with all your fingerprints and everything. But anyway, so I'm just going to take this, and I already forgot where my fold lines were, but that's okay. I'll pinch them here. So we're just going to fold it in half, kind of give it a crease. We're not sticking it together, you're just creasing it, okay? Don't stick it together. Open that up, and then we're going to crease it the other way. I got this idea from a polymer clay technique book where they did a mica shift. Well, actually when I was little I used to make little bowls like this, but and mica shifts are just a little bit harder to work with. You're just going to have to run it through to make what they call a mica shift. So I didn't do that. I thought, why don't we decorate it better? So I'm going to bring my roller, and hopefully I can back out enough for you to see this. We're going to stand the roller up on the very edge here, or top of it, or bottom. Right now I'm going to put it on the bottom because I want you guys to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to place the bowl around that, okay? And it should be up. It should be facing down. That way you're working with gravity and not against it. So I'm going to kind of push it down. I'm not sticking it to this. I don't want it to stick on, but you do want to give it a little pinch. So now that you're here, you can pinch the sides of your bowl together so that they stick together. You want those to stick. Okay. That's what's going to make the bottom of, or the sides of your bowl kind of fun. Okay. Now you can kind of start peeling away your bowl edges. And you kind of work with it right now that this base is in the middle, kind of helping you out. I'm going to kind of try to take this out without damaging the bowl. There we go. And now you can work with it a little bit more. Oh, let me come back down. We have our little bowl here. It's so cute. And then she made feet for it in the book. If you want to make feet for it, you can definitely do that. It takes a little more work. I'm just going to, I mean, you can leave it just like this too, and it'd be very cute. But what I'm going to do is make a base. So I'm going to put this to the side. I think I'm happy with the way it looks. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay. So anyway, you can continue pinching this and working with it however you like. I'm just going to leave it kind of organic, kind of open there. I'm going to put this to the side for a second. And I'm going to bring back some of that black clay. And I'm going to pinch a piece off that's kind of clean. It has a little bit of pink there, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is roll this guy up. And this I'm going to use as a base for the bowl. You do not need a base. Obviously the bottom is flat. It's not a big deal. But I am going to add a little base to it. So I'm just going to make a circle here. I don't know how much clay that is. It's just a little, I would say maybe a 3/4 inch size ball. I'm going to push down on it with my clay tool. And I'm just going to grab some of my, really quick, I'm going to grab my Bacon Bond. I'll be right back. Just ready for me to use. I have my Bacon Bond here. And so what I'm going to do is apply the Bacon Bond to the back of my little piece here. And for whatever reason, actually that's the bottom, I have a little glitter stuck in here. from all my other things I like to do. So here's where we're going to be putting the bacon bond on the piece that is going to be attached to the side that's going to be attached to our little bowl. And I'm just going to apply that right now, just randomly. It'll still attach anyway, but I just want to make sure that it's going to be extra secure. Okay, so I just applied some of that on there. Put this to the side for a second. And so now we're going to get our Fiberfill. And what you're going to do is put the Fiberfill, you can put your bowl in the fridge too if you want, just so that when you handle it you're not hurting it at all. But we're going to put the Fiberfill inside our little bowl, and it'll kind of help keep its shape. And you're going to turn it over, and this is how we're going to bake it. Okay, we're going to bake it on the Fiberfill on a note card in the oven. I am going to bake it at 225 because it's kind of thin, and you're supposed to bake Sculpey at 275 per 1/4 inch of thickness, but this is very thin. So what I'm going to do is just put this little guy on here, make sure it's adhered really well. I might take some of the bacon some of this stuff out. There's too much fluffy stuff. Doesn't tell you need very little, especially with the bowl this size. Depends on the size of your bowl, I guess. So let me shove that in there to keep that bowl open. And the reason we're doing it upside down like this is so that when it gets soft, it doesn't just like collapse over itself. You can, I guess, bake it the other way if you like, but I'm not going to do that. And when you're done baking it, okay, so 225, and I'm probably bake it for about 15 minutes, and I'll give it a look. If it looks like it's good, I'll give it maybe 5 more minutes, but I think 15 minutes ought to do it. I'm gonna just leave it sitting there, okay? Don't mess with it. If you want to, if you look at it and it looks like it's kind of warped, you can still work with it while it's a little bit warm, but it's gonna, leave it there for maybe 5 minutes. If you still need to do some adjusting to it, you can definitely do that. I would just leave it alone. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my oven at 225 for about 15 minutes. You can tent it with foil if you're afraid that your oven might scorch it, because the foil will help deflect the heat. It'll still have the heat, but it won't be right directly on it, okay? So you can definitely put a little tent of foil over it, and I'll be back when it's all done. It's all baked. The sun is coming in at a crazy angle, as you can see, so there it is. So I let it cool in there. I did not touch it. I just left it to cool in the oven. So I'm going to turn it over. So cute. Alright, so we're going to get rid of this. And it might get stuck here and there because, you really shove the stuff in there. So just get rid of all of it as best you can. And you can reuse that. As you can see, it didn't burn. Nothing happens to this stuff. It's kind of crazy. You would think it probably will burn at a certain point, but anyhow. So I'm going to continue taking all this stuff out, and before I glaze it, if I even glaze it, because I really kind of like the way it looks, just matte and cute. I was going to glaze it, but now I'm thinking maybe not. Check that out. And you can see like all the shininess from it, just from the clay itself. I think I like it just like this. So I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to glaze it. But look how cute. And then it has its little base. And you have a little trinket thing. I don't know what you want to put in there, but you can put other little things in there. Some other little clay items. Maybe your rings if you want to keep it like on your desk or something. Super cute. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So hope you guys try it out. Let me know what you think and how yours turns out. And if you wanted to glaze it, you just take whatever glaze it is. I had my Fimo here glaze, a gloss glaze. And I would just use a brush and just, glaze it as normal and wait 20 minutes and it'll be cured in 24 hours. But I like the way it looks right now. So there it is. I was thinking another cute thing you can do is put glitter all over this outer edge. And then you have like a glitter base there in the background, so I thought that'd be cute. But anyhow, hope you guys like this quick, fun little project, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.
No.